Hello, art historians, and congratulations. We are now more than halfway done with our course together, which honestly is pretty crazy. I feel like we just started not that long ago. But regardless, I wanted to post a week 4 summary video. I have a discussion to talk about, 2 quizzes, and I wanted to review the exam really quickly with you all. So first and foremost, congrats, we've made it halfway through. So at this point in time, we've taken care of 2 writing assignments. You've got 2 remaining, so if you only completed one, plan on completing one of the ones in week either 6 or 8. Remember that week 8 is a timeline, so that is asking you to pull artworks from each unit. So it has been already published on Canvas for those that want to get started on it now and kind of work along the way. If you haven't done that, I highly recommend because it'll make your last week of our course together a breeze. Additionally, you have another writing assignment opportunity during week 6, so not this current week, but the week after. And we've also taken care of our first exam. So if you did not complete this first exam or you are unhappy with the score you got on your first exam, then plan on taking the second one. That'll also be during week 8. But what you should know is that the exams are not like entirely cumulative for the last one. So whatever is on the first exam will not be on the second one. So just keep that in mind. It's only weeks 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that being said, let's discuss really quickly our discussion. I loved the Nike Samothraki fan club that seems to be developing, so I pulled out the discussion posts that were kind of centered around her, because I'm not going to lie, she's one of my favorites as well. So first and foremost, Michelle, you mentioned that the second you saw Nike Samothraki in your AP Art History class, you fell in love. I was kind of the same way, and I'm still incredibly jealous of all of my students, coworkers, people that I know who have been able to get to France, to the Louvre, to see her in person. I think it's just really, really beautiful. I don't know why this particular example is something that has captured the hearts of every person that seems to view her. Everybody loves her. So definitely really good post, and sharing how your previous experiences kind of led you to right now as well. Doug, you mentioned that the actual plain marble or raw marble was iconic and jaw-dropping in itself, and wondering how the effect of the entire image of her would have changed if paint was present, like they often were on these works of marble back in the day. And Natalie, you mentioned that this piece is full of vitality, or that life, even though it is this unmovable piece of marble that doesn't have actual expression. It's not acting, it's stationary. But the way it's been carved, the drapery, the wings, it really does feel as though she's caught in this very powerful wind. Wonderful description. So great job, folks, on our discussion this week. Don't forget to be posting your first post by Thursday and responding to 2 of your classmates by Sunday night. So now we had 2 quizzes this week, quiz number 6 and quiz number 7. Quiz number 6, I wanted to clarify super quickly that the archaic time frame, a lot of the figures that you see during that era are actually unclothed. Peplos Kore is definitely a more unique approach, simply because she's really honoring this Panathenaic procession, or this celebration that honors Athena on her birthday. And she is wearing a garment called a peplos, and this is a pattern garment that was actually part of the ceremony. So if you take a look at the Parthenon, on the frieze that shows the Panathenaic procession or the celebration for Athena, we do have one specific moment. Actually, it's unfortunate, most of the heads of this little group of women are called the Ergostines, the plaque of the Ergostines. And these were the women responsible for creating a literal, life, real fabric peplos that would have gone on the wooden sculpture of Athena that was originally placed in the Acropolis. So there's kind of a little bit of a connection there, and that's how we also know a little bit more about Peplos Kore, why she might have been buried underneath the ground, and all that good stuff. And then that takes us to quiz number 7. I did want to clarify, especially with these multiple choice questions, make sure you're reading the question just maybe 2 times just to make sure, because there was one that was a little bit tricky, talking about the sarcophagus of the spouses. It was asking what the theme was not related to the function. And so the theme here is really about love and companionship as we see the couple are interacting. The College Board will try to tell you that they're gesticulating, and they are kind of in this moment of celebration. They're eating, they're together, they're embracing. And so while mortality in the afterlife is certainly a theme here, it's more based on love and companionship with what we see, not based on the function of the object itself. And now, last but not least, before I run out of time, I wanted to discuss the first exam. So 2 questions that I noticed some incorrect responses were for the Paleolithic artists and how they were depicting 2 horns of an animal. So if you are taking a look at 2-point and linear perspective, those things do exist, but they certainly do not exist now. We need to wait quite a ways down the line in order to get to a moment when we're using that advancement of perspective and showing depth within work, especially on a 2D scale. But for now, we're using something called composite perspective or twisted perspective. And that really occurs in a situation where if you were trying to show someone in profile, so as I am in profile and I'm standing, you cannot see my other eye, you can't see my other ear, it's blocked because I am only being shown from one point of view or one side. Now, if we look at the bulls or the Lascaux caves, for example, those bulls are facing one direction. However, we do see the 2 horns. And so if this was truly profile perspective, the horns would line up evenly, almost like in the way my ears do, and you don't really get to see that. So that's where that composite perspective comes in. And last but not least, the Apollo 11 stone question I wanted to talk about. This is definitely simple observation because this is such an early piece with such a limited amount of information and research and, understanding of this time frame in our human history. We're not really 100% positive if there is a complex story that's being told, if it is daily life. At the basis, we can say with confidence that this is observation of daily life. And so that's why that response is correct there. For your open-ended or free responses, we had our Old Kingdom canopic jars. We had our Neo-Assyrian bas-relief or low-relief carving. We had a goddess or a deity, or our running horned woman. And then we had a gravestone, also known as a stele, with our friend Hegesso. And last but not least, we had the seated scribe and Peplos Kore. So great job on all this work this week. I know that the halfway point can kind of be a lot, especially with those writing assignments and exams and notes and et cetera, et cetera. If you have any questions at this point in time, please reach out. Everything up until now that has been submitted has been graded. So if you notice anything ungraded from weeks 4 and back, just don't hesitate to reach out. Let me know. Double check I'm doing everything correctly. I'm not the best math person, so if you notice any discrepancies or maybe I missed a self-guided exploration, definitely just let me know, and I'm happy to correct all that stuff. And we are now moving into week 5, so it's a little bit of a simpler week. You've got your notes, your self-guided explorations, and your quizzes, but none of that extra stuff. So enjoy the little break, or if you want to move ahead, go for it, because I'm going to publish all those modules right now. All right, folks, congratulations on making it halfway through. I'm really impressed with all the work that's been submitted. I love the opinions and kind of self-reflections that are happening. I love to see all of this involvement in the curriculum and in the content, so I really appreciate all of that. Definitely take a look at any comments I've made and let me know if you need anything at all. I am here as your professor. All right, everybody, I'll see you next week. Bye!